before I joined the Navy, I had joined an NRA school. This was in Manassas, Virginia in 1939. And what I went into is learn a trade school. And the trade school I was going to was be a metalworker, sheet metal worker. And this was a 4-year course paid by the government. And I was only 14 at the time. So I had 3 years of my trade school, which was at Manassas, Virginia. Every day I went to school 8 to 5 every day for 3 years. And it was a government project. They paid my room and board and gave me $10 a month. And this is the way I went to school. So then the 4th year, they said you have to finish your apprenticeship school in a shipyard. And so I was only 17-year-old, and of course my mother, they got her signed papers for me to go to Newport News, Virginia to work in the shipyard. I went to the shipyard in 42. This was probably around July of 42, and that was, no, 41. I was working, July of 41 is what it was. And I was working in the shipyard, and while I was working there, the Suwannee came in as a tanker, SS McKay. And I built a lot of the ammunition boxes, first aid kits, some of the, what you call, rubber goes around the doors of the Suwannee, and so I probably was the first one aboard the Suwannee, but as a civilian. And I had no idea that I would ever get aboard the Suwannee. So it was March, 1st of March, well, the 4th day of March of 42, I became 18 years old, and it was just a few days later I got my first classification, A1. Uncle Sam saying, I want you, and I said, well, working in the shipyard, seeing all those ships and things, I'm not going to go in the Army. So I joined the Navy, and really, it was in May, about June, about the 1st of June, I started my boot training in Norfolk, Virginia. Finished my, it was about 2 months of boot training, and went into the whole shipyard there. Well, not shipyard, but training station, waiting for assignment, and then lo and behold, what did I catch? I caught the Suwannee. And of course, I was glad, because being part of the person that actually, I said, boy, I helped build this thing. And being a little humor, one of the guys went one day and he saw my name on ammunition box. You know how guys would be. You really did help build this tub. So if we think we'll throw him over the side. And it was real humorous. But I went to North Africa on the Suwannee and came back, but to North Virginia. We were gone, the invasion was November the 8th. And of course we come back through Bermuda, and I had bought my sister an Angolian sweater. But one of the things is, I did not have a bunk aboard the Suwannee. I slept in the hammock the whole time, going from when we left. I was 3 months that I did not have, that I slept in the hammock all this time, and the hammocks were tied up in the mess hall. So it's quite an ordeal. I had to get up early in the morning, take my sea bag down and hammock down, put it up, help set the mess hall up, and then went back about my own duties, because I was really actually, they had said that I would be a gunner's mate. And of course I tried all the time. I said, boy, that's completely out of line with the Navy, and make me a gunner's mate when I've had 4 continuous years of schooling in metalwork. And I knew how to weld, knew how to rivet and everything. And I could have done that on planes. No, you're going to be a gunner's mate. And sure enough, in 15 months, I made gunner's mate third class. But that was why we went down through the Panama Canal and went out to New Caledonia and worked back up through close to Guadalcanal with Guadalcanal, and come back to the States one or two times. But in fact, we came into San Francisco, I remember one time, and then went back out, and I was on board when we went to Tawara, the invasion of Tawara. And then January of 44, we came back to the States, and I was transferred. So I was actually on the Suwannee 18 months. And that's my ordeal of the Suwannee. And the Suwannee has always been my, I guess, first choice of ships, because I was in the amphibious force and I was also on a destroyer. But I've never made any of the reunions on the others. I've always been the Suwannee.
The names that were mentioned in the memorial service this evening, can you tell me about some of those men?
Well, you mean like Gilchrist? You know, being first one aboard, and of course being young, you really actually forget a lot of the things that went on, and I have become more acquainted with the guys since we've had the reunion than I did when I was aboard ship. Because when I was aboard ship, like I was talking about, I don't know, I burned a lot of midnight oil because I was still going to school, and I got an education, but not education like going to school, because my education consisted of this 4 years of training, and then I went to, while I was in Norfolk, in Newport News working for a shipyard, I took a correspondent course, and that was a 4-year course, and I continued that while I was still in the Navy. So I was working my 3 different things. I was in the mess hall in the morning, and then get up and go to my gun, clean it up during the day, and then free time, I didn't have none, I was studying. And it helped me because I did not have high school education. I did not go to high school. My highest grade of school I went was 6th grade. But in the government allowing me this program to study 4 years, I learned to read blueprints, and I learned a lot. And of course, it helped me tremendously after I got out of the Navy, because just the learning of reading blueprints was a tremendous asset.
The reunions, have you been to every one of them?
I didn't make the first 2.
Tell me about the first one you went to and what it was like to see
the first one I went to was in Cleveland, Ohio, and of course I called Mary Lou, and I saw it in the American Legion magazine. I said, Mary Lou, I said, the Suwannee is having a reunion. I said, and so they had, what you call. So I called up and got the information, and sure enough, boy, we wound up in Cleveland, and my wife she just hit it off with all of the ladies and the wives and everything. So she really hit it off real good. But now she's not my first wife. In other words, my first wife, I married her while I was still in service in '46, and of course she passed away in '80. But then I met Mary Lou. But some of the guys call Mary Lou a trophy wife. We have been all this year trying to figure out what a trophy wife. So I told some of the guys, I said, well, you think what you do. I said, she's a trophy. So this was the highlight of our first reunion. And we went to a polka dance in Cleveland, Ohio. And we have really enjoyed every reunion we've ever went to.
What would you like for people to remember about your service during World War II and the service of your fellow crewmen?
I'll have to think about that. Well, I just, like the people to realize that that the small carriers, they didn't get much recognition, but really they done a tremendous job as far as I'm concerned as what they were supposed to do in the war. And I would like people to remember that the small carriers were just as important as the big carriers. And I would like to for them to remember that.